Oh, welcome back to another episode of Bad Talk with JiJi. I'm your host, JiJi. Another week, another guest. If you're not following, please make sure you're following the page at bagtalkw.jiji. And follow, like, subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm gassed because last week, my manager, who I interviewed on a previous episode about being an entertainment lawyer, was at the Hip Hop Awards this past Tuesday. And she was on the red carpet, and somebody, I guess, recognized her from my show. So whoever's out there watching, who's keeping up with the episodes, I truly do appreciate you. It's not easy trying to be consistent with this and trying to like keep up with going live, reaching out to guests, and just putting myself out there with my own platform. It's definitely hard, super hard. Sometimes it takes an emotional toll on me because, again, I'm doing this on my own because I just have a passion for wanting to connect people and just kind of help people, give them insight on different, stages of their careers. We're going to wait a little for the guest. Oh, and if you're not following me on Instagram, JIONNE.MC, all 17 episodes are up on YouTube. Everything is up there from the beginning to the last one I just did last week. So please make sure you are, again, subscribed. That would mean a lot to me. My goal is to get to at least 100 subscribers by the end of this year. We're going to claim it. I'm big on manifesting, so we're going to manifest it and claim it. I'm just going to wait for our guest to come on alive. I've been rewatching a lot of old BET shows. I've been watching like all the college shows, and I'm up to the Miami season. And well, not just this season. A lot of other seasons, there were a lot of problematic things. I think I'm only saying that because I'm in this day and age. But yeah, there were a lot of things that were problematic. Like there was an episode, one season, I think the students at BSU, and one of the dudes was in a fraternity, and he has fraternity boys come over, and it was like an old head fraternity, like his big, that was there, and he was just like really inappropriate with girls. Like he was touching on girls, and one of the girls was like, "Can you get out of my space?" He's like, "No," and I was getting triggered by that because I'm like, I know this is an old college show episode, but I'm just like, that's mad inappropriate. Like. And the boys is laughing like, why nobody doing nothing? And then this season with the Miami, there was the boy Kyle, the gay dude, who was just like really catty, really bullying people, yelling, and nobody checked him. And I'm just like, that's why I couldn't be on these reality TV shows, because the producers know who they put in on these shows to be like on these shows. And I feel like I would have got kicked out the house because you could push my buttons, but so much, especially back then, young me in college. I'm snapping 3.5. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I see you, Karl. I'm about to add you on now. I'm tired. My sound is... Not the music. Are you still in out the country?
Nah.
I thought about that. I was like, wait, is it like 2:30 his time?
Nah. I'm in LA, but I'm out of the country though.
Oh, how long you gonna be in LA? I'm gonna send you an invite for something.
Oh shit. Probably till Monday.
Oh, it's on Monday. When's the 9th? That's Monday.
I mean, I didn't book the flight yet, so I'll go. So
it's a screening. I'm gonna send you.
Oh yeah, send that.
But hey,
you in LA now?
No, I'm in New York.
Oh shit.
I've been in New York. How long I've been? I was in DC for like a week or two, but I've been back for a minute now. But what's going on?
What's good? How you doing?
What is the proper way to categorize you? Because you do so much, I don't really know what your title is.
That's funny because a lot of people say that, but I mean, you could say creative, but you could just say filmmaker.
Filmmaker.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're also a choreographer. Like you just do all things creative.
Yeah. So creative works too. You know what I'm saying? Because I could dip and dab in like every field.
You write also, right?
What like scripts and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Dang, they need to come up with like a term, because I interviewed someone else who's like involved in everything, and I'm just like, it's not. I just can't call someone one thing.
You know, I like to say creative now because you know it gets overused a lot, but
It
I feel like
is.
that's like
I
a
hate that.
proper technical term. But you know, I like to say what I am depending on what I'm doing. Kind of like if I'm just dancing, then okay, I'll be a choreographer. If I'm just filming, then okay, I'll be filmmaker. You know what I'm saying?
So talk about your journey. How did you get involved in, I guess, the creative world?
Let me get my AirPods real quick. I'm like going like this.
Is it my sound? Let me
No,
turn it
it's on
up.
my phone, so this is better. Um, so what was your question again?
How did you get involved in, I guess, the creative industry?
Um, all right, so I probably gotta take you back to like high school, which was well, I graduated in 2009, so I was on a dance team, you know what I mean, dancing. I wanted to be a choreographer. That was my bag. So I was like, I'm gonna be a dancer choreographer. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be choreographing, I'm gonna be dancing with Usher, Chris Brown. That was my dream. Like that was what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as I was on a dance team, you know, nobody was filming these rehearsals and like the performances. So I'm like, let me get a camera and let me film it because like we gotta document a lot of this stuff. So I had got a camera, little camcorder, and I started filming the dance rehearsals and, you know, give it to somebody, jump in and start dancing, you know, put it together. And then the performances, I also put that together. But when I started doing it, people were like, yo, the edits on these are fire. Like I was on Facebook, I would drop it on Facebook and then it would go crazy. For that time on Facebook, it would go off. And then, you know, I always had like a visual eye or that creative kind of eye for things. So, you know, me doing the edits, I'm like, you know, dancing, I love dancing of OD. So I'm like, it's just a lot of physicality. And I know, you know, as you get older, I was not young at the time, but in my head, I'm like, oh, if I get older though, like it's gonna be tough to like continue dancing. You 40 and you trying to like
Keep up.
audition to be, you know what I'm saying? So let me just like really try to study filmmaking. So I went crazy. I wasn't dancing. I mean, I was dance still, but I was really studying. So I was trying to get like good enough to my for my videos to be on MTV Jams in my head. You know, like okay, let me study, and then as I was doing that, you know, I was doing music videos, but you know, obviously the budgets for whatever you're doing, like little local music videos, and then you know, luckily my brother, I had him to practice on because you know he could dance and everything too, and it worked because I always had somebody there to test shit out on. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my actual start. So, you know, from that point on, me knowing how to dance and music, it just went hand in hand. So, like a lot of stuff I do is it kind of involves musicality. Even if I'm doing a video, like the music bed is just an interesting, you know, way because it started from you know music,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 2009. So I've been doing it since then. So like
That's so
my
cool.
yeah, I'm really good because I started a long time ago, but I'm just young still, if that makes sense.
You said
Like a lot of people,
you studied, like you were self-taught when you first picked up the camera, and then did you like go to school, or you just was like
I,
YouTubing and just
I
filming?
see back then YouTube was like the real well, for us, I feel like it was like the Instagram. Like I was on YouTube like a
Was
fanatic. Like if it went viral on YouTube, it was up. So I was on YouTube, I was looking up stuff, you know, I would try it, you know. There's times I like fucked up on set, there's times I like messed up the audio, but you know, it's like you need it for to gain experience. So,
that's
you
the
know,
best way
and
to learn
then
too.
yeah,
I feel like.
and you know, like I didn't know what I really necessarily. I would say I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I was really, really good at. I just knew I liked telling stories somehow in whatever I was doing. So even if I'm doing something like quote unquote like basic, it would just have to have like some type of storyline to it. You know, so like if I was doing music videos, I would try to like have a breakdown of like this little argument scene, and it's like this thing going on and it's super dramatic. And that's how I treated everything, you know. And then Instagram came along and, you know, that changed the game because now I was trying to bring stuff that I did on YouTube to Instagram, but it didn't work. It don't work like that. So it's like you have to figure out another way to kind of break it up. But I'll get to
Mhm.
that later because I feel like I have something to say about how I was able to switch my like how I was doing videos
That's
in
actually one
long
of my
form.
questions too. So
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it yet. So but yeah, that's how I started. So and I was still dancing at the same time. Like I was still trying to get the dances off and somehow try to blend it because that's like my first
Mhm.
love.
Well,
But
speaking of blending, how do
yeah.
the disciplines of, I guess, filmmaking, choreography, and videography, influence and complement each other in your work?
That's a good question. So, um, they influence each other because rhythmically, like let's say if I was doing an edit and it was to a song, I could edit it any other type of way. But if you edit in rhythm, and people are like, oh, like this edit, like it kind of fits what's going on. It's not like doing too much, not doing too little, but it's
Hmm.
like a dance. Like editing is like a dance in a way. So I treat it like that. Like I start with the music, I start with the sound, and then from that point on, that is like the foundation of whatever I'm doing. So if I was to edit you right now, I'll go, okay, like what is she talking about? And then start with that. Then I'll start with the sound, and then break it up from that point on. So I'm kind of dancing with what the story is. And then having rhythm the edits kind of cut in that way. So it's like as you're watching it, you're like, oh, all right, yeah, this kind of works. And then there's always a good ending, So that's I just kind of try to flow all of them together, without it being leaned on like one side. Like that's just my style, obviously. Like everybody has different styles. My style is more like a rhythm to the whatever I'm doing.
It's evident because I watched a lot of your stuff and it flows very well. It does tell a story. I feel like your main thing is like you want to tell a story, and that's something you do both. You can do that dancing and in videography. You have to tell a story too. So it really does
Yeah,
show and it blends well.
thank you. Yeah, that's like because I always try to, I try to do the long form way of, tell a story, but like, well, I'll say for Instagram, like tell a story, but like you kind of, how like if you do filming, watching a movie, you kind of like start off slow, it starts really like creeps into the house, and
Hmm.
then like the door opens, and then it goes into the bedroom, and then it's like they turn the light on, everything is like a process.
Hmm.
On Instagram, that don't work. Niggas is scrolling by that shit. Like, what is this? Scroll, scroll, scroll. So I just learned how to grab people's attention really fast. Like, so for example, like I would, if, let's say the best part of the night was when you did a split in the middle of the dance floor, right? Let's just say that's the best part
I
of the
feel like
night.
I
Like that was
did this somewhere.
you, let's say you did that. Like that was the moment. So that was the best part of the night, and there was other moments of the night that was dope too. I would start with that, like off the rip, the video starting with that, like first 3 seconds, split. Oh, the crowd going crazy, and then I would like reverse it back to the beginning, like because then if I got you early, it's like okay, now you're willing to like see how it rises to that point. So that's
Hmm.
how you usually get people, or like maybe you get to that point and stop it, and then kind of go back. So that's how. Because if you wait and like kind of like build it, you can build the suspense, but it's just tough for the people who like people who are not invested in it. It's like, okay, why should I watch
And
this if I
everyone's
don't
attention
know?
span is like
Yeah,
shots.
if I don't, if you haven't proven, I won't say proving yourself. If you haven't proven whatever you're showing yet, then you have to start off like that. If whatever you're doing is proven, then you don't have to do that as much. Like Drake could post a video on his
Hmm.
Instagram, and it slowly walks into the thing because his audience is just gonna watch whatever he posts. You know what I mean? Not saying they won't watch mine, but if it's a new thing that I'm showing, which is mine is unique because I'm showing things that aren't pertaining to me, which is another subject too. Like, I always try to kind of put me into whatever I'm doing somehow. But like whatever I do is kind of if I'm filming somebody, it's not me. It's I'm filming the other thing. So my audience don't give a shit what that's about. So I have to make them care. So it has to be a thing where, like, if you look at most of my content, I've done stuff for everybody, like a bunch of companies, different people. Like, whoever celebrity. But if my audience don't care about it, it's like, okay, me posting it, it's just not gonna. If I feel like it's not gonna do anything, I just won't post it. I try to fit whatever I do that I post. I try to kind of put myself into it, right? You
That
know what I
actually led
mean?
to my next question: the balance of staying true to your artistic vision, but
Yeah.
then also trying to meet the demands, expectations of your clients or your audience.
So, oh, so you mean like if I have like a creative idea and they have a creative idea,
Like, how
you
do
know?
you combine the two of this is what I want it to look like, but I also want to meet the needs of whoever's hiring me or whatever.
Right.
Like for example, you worked with Usher. We're gonna talk about it, right?
Right.
So you have to meet the needs of what you think the vision is, but also want to keep his style. And I mean, I feel like that's a bad example because you and Usher, like I feel like you're the same person. No shit.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I could go back a little bit on that point. Usher is literally the reason I started dancing. Like I'm not even like let's start.
Come
We can start from there. I
on,
started
manifestation.
dancing. I wouldn't know how to. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't know how to dance because that's probably like I probably wouldn't know have some type of rhythm. But I started. My dad had. I remember like watching the music videos. I have pictures of me watching music videos when I was younger, like in front of the TV trying to learn routines. But like my dad specifically turned on 8701 Evolution Tour. It was a tour
Mm.
DVD, and it was 8701, and he was like, it was on like ABC or something, and he was just like, it was just like chicken in the ring. I was like, oh my god, it was like the best shit I've ever seen in my life. I was like, yo, what? At that point, I was like, nah, I gotta be. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna do something like. So I remember. So from that point on, I never forget that point. I was like probably I don't know 9 or 10
Mm-hmm.
because so now every time I do something, I think about that moment, like, oh, and I was so hyped to. So I try to bring myself in places where I feel like that. If I don't feel like that, then I know I don't really want to do it. Where I feel like mad excited to go and to be around and like the music of it all and try to blend it all together. Like my videos are good, especially if I'm in an environment where like I just like where I'm at. Because I don't feel like I'm working.
It's
I'm just in
obvious.
there.
It's so
Yeah.
obvious. You can tell. Like every time I see anything that you're at, it's like, of course he would be here. Like it just always fits your aesthetics. I feel like that's like an easy thing. Like, have you ever worked in an environment where it doesn't fit you and you still have to deliver?
Um. Oh yeah. Like a bunch. Honestly, like I'm trying to think of a moment. Like, I've done so much projects that like I've been in different companies. That didn't fit my aesthetic.
Well, let's back up from the beginning.
Yeah.
How did you market yourself so that you're able to like work with these companies and work with these celebrity clients?
So I would say I worked at this ad agency called Translation. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it scoops
Yes.
out. You heard of it? Oh
Yeah, I'm
shit.
trying
So yeah.
to work at United Masters.
Oh, oh, that's fire. Like, wow, that's yeah. So I worked there. So I got laid off there right when United Masters was like starting. So that year United Masters started, I probably was there for like 4 months up until 4 months into their start, I got laid off, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at Translation for like a good amount of time. I was at something called the Stash, and then I got moved up to Translation, and then I was there for like a year and a half or so.
And you were
And then
like doing video content for
I was
them?
doing video editing. So they had another editor, which she was like there since the company started in there. So I was kind of like the young editor, and I would do like some video. I was able to do video stuff, but it laid me off obviously because he had like the like the senior, head. Like it wasn't gonna let him go. So it
Yeah.
was cool though. 'Cause I wanted to freelance, which I was doing. So I was like, you know what, like it's fine. Like I was freelance anyway, and I was able to be free, so it kind of worked out. But when I started with them is when I started to really kind of get off the ground. I wouldn't say that because even before that, we was doing. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Of my first celebrity like thing I did. Oh, so yeah, at the Stash. Stash was like a blog site. It was
Mm-hmm.
like a blog site. It was under Translation, and we were bringing artists, and I asked my man's was like, I was like, yo, like he worked there. I did not. He just asked me to film something one time, and then I was like, oh, cool. And I know they had like an office with an open desk that was like a video editor that was there before. I was like, yo, I could just like edit my freelance stuff here, like, you know what I mean? If not, you're not using it. He's like, yeah, no, come
Access
through.
to it.
Yeah, mind you, I'm broke as shit. Like I'm coming off of like I got money for MetroCard and that's about it. Like, well, I was like, I'm a link just because just being there. I always learned if you're around and you're valuable, at one given moment, somebody's gonna ask you something like because you're just around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there for like just doing my own shit, really, just studying. But I'm just there. Eventually, they go, damn, we gotta do this like little documentary video. I think Young Joe was coming in, and it was like, who gonna get the filming? And he was like, well, I mean, Carl's here, like we could just, I'll just get him. Mind you, like I'm just there, so I'm like, yeah, I can do it. This is like 2015, mind you, so I'm like 24. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I could do it, and we start the interview. Well, we're prepping for the interview, but I don't really know how to work like live mics yet. Like I was growing, but I wasn't as like sound and shit like that. I wasn't good at yet. Like, I was just
Yeah,
good at
people
like
don't understand. Like, audio is a whole separate ball
a
game.
whole
Like, you
separate
have to do a
thing.
whole its own thing. Audio production.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and I'm sitting there. This is probably like 2 hours before you come. I'm sitting there with the mics, like trying to figure out the channels, and like it's not working at all. I'm like, oh my, I'm gonna fuck this interview. Luckily, Young Joe is late as hell. Late is like it probably comes like an hour and a half late. I'm still trying to. By the time he comes, I just figure it out. So it works and everything, but again, I know it's not to where it should be. You know, what I mean, and there's times like I messed up a few times. We did this like wrestling thing and the audio. He was like, "Yo, is it the equipment or is it like your talent level?" You know.
Someone said that.
Yeah, he was like a dickhead white dude, but he was like, "Is it
Oh
your
yeah,
talent level or is it
yeah.
the
I already know
equipment?"
that type.
And I was just like, nah, it's just equipment. Like I just gotta get. I'm lying. Like it's definitely me. But at that point, I just learned. I put my head. I swear, it probably didn't take me long, but I just sat every day. I was like, let me just figure this out. Sound, and now I can. You
But
know,
that's it.
it's like that. Yeah, but then I didn't know what I was doing. But you know, so we started doing that, and then they would interview a lot of artists, and then how I would market myself on Instagram, you know, that helped too. So, you know, I would do like me and my brother would do covers of people's songs. Like he would dance to like somebody's song that we like. You know what I mean? Things like that. Like Rico Love, I met him because he had a song and I filmed my brother doing his song and he would retweet it and repost it because we was performing his song. And that's how he even knew who I was until I actually ended up working with him 2018 and now we're like friends, you know what I'm saying? But like it would be things like that. Like I'll always if I actually want to do something or I really like something, I'll just figure out a way to do it in a way where I'm creating something out of it. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Mhm.
I'm a fan, but let me just do something that I can kind of like put a twist on it in a way. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And then
I didn't know this about you. I'm really like,
yeah,
really?
I know. Like it was a long journey, but oh, I also was doing party called Henny Palooza at the
Mhm.
time. And I was
Is that how you met? Because I honestly thought y'all were always related. I was like, how the hell they all know each other? I was
who?
like, oh, everybody brothers and cousins.
Oh,
You and Chris and Malak. I was like, oh, so they all brothers?
God. So yeah, like so doing that, I I'm not gonna. So that was I did that the first one for free, and and dude was like, "Yo, like, oh nah, like who?" Because I realized you got to pay to play, but pay your own way to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like 23. I came in like I'm gonna do the recap of this shit and smoked it. I was the water. Buy that shit. Mind you, it's trash now. I still have that first recap. It's terrible. But from that point on, I know doing that helped too. 'Cause we had a lot of artists that we would film, and everybody knew somebody, and we were kind of, you know, oh, Carl, you could film for this person, you could do this. So that's kind of how I started it. That's how I got the stash thing too, because Kaz worked at the stash, and that's how I, you know, and then then I went to translation, and it kind of was built. It built from there. But I always learned you always have to have your own separate thing going too, because I got let go from Palooza, and then they brought me back because going, I was going crazy. Did they let me go because they felt like something happened, like the battery fucked up in LA, and I didn't film a bunch of footage that I should have filmed. I did a recap, but I missed out on like some other shit. So they felt like I just wasn't doing nothing. Whatever, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right, bet. You want me to go? I went that year. I went crazy. I started filming everything. It was undeniable, and I would still go. And it was like, all right, let's bring him back. Let's bring him back.
We might need him again.
Yeah, like, cause people were like, "Yo, who did this recap? It's not the same." Like, and I was making movies out of the joints. Like, I was probably the first. I'm not even trying to like really brag. Like, really the first.
No, brag.
To,
like, talk about your shit. I feel like as creators, we feel like we have to be humble. But if there's a reason why I wanted to interview you, because I'm like, yo, his content is fire. And for me, when I've met you, I always thought you were lit. So I didn't know the hustle of getting here, which is why I wanted to interview you, because I feel like you don't have content explaining that, like telling people it's just. But for me, you just kind of.
Maybe I should. Right.
So I feel like some of us people need to understand, because I think with social media, and someone actually mentioned this, like you only see the good side, you see what people's up. You don't see how people started. Right. And sometimes people need to see that to know, I didn't just woke up to see and I was lit. Like I was fucking up sometimes, but I kept going.
You kept going, yeah. That is true actually, because I think I should make content out of that too.
So you tag me.
But you know why I haven't. I learned like to not be super pretentious early, like too early. Where like let's say somebody's like teaching a class, but like they just started like a year ago or something. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm teaching this class, and it's like, oh yeah, and like, yo, like, what have you done? Well, you could be good at it maybe, but like if I'm overly like, oh yeah, I'm teaching this class doing this, people like, I mean, I guess like you're not even like there's people aren't calling for it. It's like almost comes off as pretentious. So I always like I'm gonna do one, but I'm gonna wait until people are like asking me. Like now I want to do a like a class and everything, and people ask me all the time. But like before, I was like I could have did one, but like I just felt like
you needed more stuff on your resume so that you can prove why you should take this class.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just doing it just for like bread. Like, oh, I just need bread from y'all. Like, let me just get it off. But now, now I'm starting to like put that in my content a little bit, like showing me like how I filmed this and a little bit. But yeah, like it was just it's a lot of work. That I would say a lot of work for sure, because it's talent. But if you're not like sometimes you gotta stay up late, get up early in the morning. You're smacked. Drunk out your mind. I have to get up, still get that edit off. Like you can't go, oh, I'm lit, I can't do it. Like you gotta do it anyway, you know what I mean? Traveling, like you said. So I have a lot like stories like that where like shit, it was like in pressurized moments and I had to get it off. I have a bunch of those, but
have you had moments where you kind of was like, I don't want to do this anymore, this ain't for me? Like what were those moments like?
I never really had I don't want to do this anymore moment. I had moments where I shouldn't have picked the project.
Talk about that.
Like you kind of do something like, oh, it's like a dope. You think it's dope because it's just like the name or whatever, but it's just not you. It's just like, why am I here? Like you're trying to do some like let's say if I don't like baseball, right? And like I'm more of a just performance art type person. I'm like, now I'm in a baseball arena, I'm trying to film some baseball plays. Like, it could be cool, but like, now they're making you do extra stuff. You're like, yo, fam, I don't even want to do this shit like that. Like, I'm just here, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And it comes out in the work, so I'll try to put my best foot forward still. But you could feel when something isn't like. But I mean, obviously, when you're good though, like your whack work to you is still fired, so they might be like, "Oh, this is works."
But like, you're right about the energy though that you're putting into it. You want to, because if you're passionate about something, I want to work on passionate projects so that I'm happy about what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like now I try to like pick things that like I feel like are, um, I don't want to say fun. Like it might not be fun all the time, but like that I just like what
Hmm.
it is. So it's like, oh yeah, let's just do this thing, and it'll feel once we do it, it'll feel grander because I'm putting a lot of energy into it. It's
Because
like,
you
oh
want to.
yo, yeah, like, I got I got this thing. We're gonna, and it just
Do
goes,
you think that's a luxury creatives should, I guess, a practice creators should do like in the beginning of their career, or they should like build themselves up and then start picking what things they want to work on? Because I feel like when people like if you're starting as a creative, you're broke, so you're gonna take on any project.
Oh
Or do you
yeah,
think?
I think they should take on any project, take on anything, because you don't know what you like that either. Like when you first
Hmm.
start, you just kind of just if you're too picky early, you're just not gonna get far because you really don't really know what you like, and you probably not that good enough yet to be picky. Honestly, you know what I mean? You're just probably not. Like you're being picky, but you're like, oh fam, like what? So it's kind of do everything. I did photography. I literally did everything to think of to zero in on exactly what I know I like. Because if you leave one off the table, that might be the thing where you're like Michael Jordan at, but you left it. So what I mean, I don't want to die and knowing I'm like, damn, I probably should have just tried it. And I did everything, like every single thing you could think of. You couldn't say something like, "Oh, have you done it?" Yes, I've tried it.
And I don't like
But
it. I'm not trying to do it.
yeah, like I don't like it, or maybe it's just not my thing. I'm probably good at it, but I just don't. I'd rather not do it and give it to somebody else that's that likes that thing. You know.
Do you have moments where you're not like creatively inspired?
Um. Yeah, but it's not often though because I do so much things that I could put in some another place. Like if I'm not creatively inspired to film, then usually my now I want to dance. Like so, it's kind of like I could put it in different places. Like a lot of people don't have the luxury to go, oh, like I don't want to film. It's all right, now I'm just stuck. But okay, if I want to film, like all right, well, I just play music really loud and start like
Because
start dancing in the living room or some
choreography.
shit. Yeah, or like I could write, or I try to find create. But what I learned to do is find the creativity in everything. So everything I watch or do, or like I see, I try to find the creativity, or like the art behind it. Like when I'm watching, you know, a cook. Like my cousin is a chef, and I always ask him like, "Yo, when he gets talks about his mad passion. He's like, like when I create the season, I do this, I flip it in the air, and then I bring this. I'm like, oh my god! So now my brain is like, oh, like I'm thinking of creative shit because it's just another creative outlet. It's not like you don't want to be super only into what you're doing because you're gonna get tired. Like you're not tired of it, but it's just you're doing the same thing every day. So I try to find it in, like I can look at birds and be like, damn, like the way they flap their wings, like how to. Yeah, you just find it in a different place, and it'll come out. You'll kind of come up with the idea of what you do well because you seen it in something else. So that's usually how I don't really go in like little ruts or anything or you know.
Are there any clients that you haven't worked with that you're like, that's a goal? I feel like Usher was the ultimate for you because you said you were heavily inspired by him. Is there someone under him?
Well, no, Usher is still the goal because I did, but I didn't work with it wasn't super directly with him. It was more
His
so
or
it was
like
like the team. All right, so one thing I did this like I was filming the dancers and the skaters, right? But when I did the video, he didn't see it. So when it went out, he said, "Take it down." Yeah, it was weird. The entire everybody else seen it but him, which I don't
I'm the
whatever.
type.
Like
I did this for him.
I know it was sick, but I mean he's cool. I was with in Paris, like it was chill, like was it? But it's just
Wait,
I
have
want to
you
do
haven't like met him
no.
yet?
I'm saying in Paris, like I met him a few times, but like I haven't got like a one on one, like yo, this is me.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
what I
he knows
mean.
he knows me enough. Like we dapped each other, but like he knows me enough to know who I am. But like not like a one on one session where it's like me and you talking like right here, like let's like
Oh,
that.
I
Yeah,
wanted to make
but
that happen for you.
it'll happen soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I don't want to go too hard because we go too hard for it and it don't happen. The disappointment is too crazy. Like
Oh, that'd be me.
yeah, I'd rather just be like, it'll happen. Like I got close enough a lot of times, dapped him, and even like recent, like I'm in the section with like it's just like I just let it happen how it's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
it'll
like that you
happen.
said that. That's actually a gem for me because I go so hard for things that I want because I feel like I'm supposed to have it.
Yeah,
And then when I don't have it, later on down the line, I'll see it takes another opportunity to come along for me to be like, you know, it wasn't meant to be, Gian. You was actually supposed to be doing this. But in that moment when you don't get it, that
it
the whole
hurts.
day
Oh,
is ruined. For me, at least for me, my whole day is
it,
shot.
no, and that is like that for me too. Like for example, like imagine I went to like when I went to Paris, like I he dapped me first. Like he knew who I was. Like, he's like, oh, I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah, she remember who I was. But mind you, I'm tall and I'm wearing fly shit while filming most of the time.
Come
So,
on, fly shit.
so it's like, oh yeah, yeah, like he know, But and I'm with Rico, so it's like, yeah, like he's, But I haven't got like a one on one or anything like that. But I've seen him and filmed him enough times that he remembers who I am. I filmed him a lot. Like me with a camera, like while he was skating, while he was there, So I think he knows me that in that sense. But I haven't got like an actual work thing. This is what I did was to even get that close. When I went to the residency with my brother, the first time I went on a dope show, and I went again. I'm like, I'm gonna go and just film the dancers and skaters. But I'm gonna film the show, but I'm gonna film dancers and skaters because I know they don't get a lot of elite content like that. You
Mm.
get people with shaky hands, like hype in the crowd, but I'm in there like this, and they
They
see the
probably
footage, like, whoa,
thought she was part of the crew in real life. It's like, leave him alone.
they're like, who film this shit. So I Dropboxed them everything, and they was like, "Oh no," they tagging me. So now, like, I'm, it's almost like sometimes you have to go around. If you want to get to Usher, okay, like I don't really have to meet him. It's just me being around. Like that is my environment. So I'm like, oh yeah, the dancers and skit. This is what I would do if I was a dancer. I would be like hype. So
You would be
I'm
with them
like,
anyway.
yeah. So like all of them know me like this. Like they all. Every single dancer skater know me. Carl said, oh yeah, Carl got that footage. That's why you see them all post. If I'm there, like it's going up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna happen eventually. You know what I mean? But I know the person that filmed him too. Like so,
I
it'll
can't wait
happen
till it
eventually.
happens. All right. Oh, look at
Yeah,
y'all
no, it's
heard it
gonna
here
be. Oh,
first. We manifested it here first.
yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be.
Do you
It's
have
gonna be
any
one of
end
those.
goals for your career? Like, I know you did the You from Brooklyn series. We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about that. But I feel like I don't know. Like, you don't want to do a feature film or.
yeah. This is the other thing about being so creative that you want to do so many things. So it's like you go, all right, what do I do now, and just stick to that. But no, I do want to do a film. Um, I want to do that. I want to do something that involves like it's like this variation of a Broadway play, but it's not Broadway.
Mm.
It's more like I guess it's like a musical. I would say a musical, but like a urban musical. You know what I mean? So like, let's say, 'cause I think Black people and music it goes hand in hand, in like the way we dance and like go about it. It will be fire if we did it, but not in a cheesy musical way. Like it'll be more of,
Dream Girls?
huh?
That's cheesy to you?
No, I don't think Dream Girls. No, Dream Girls is dope. Like something like that, but like an urban version. Like Dream
Mm-hmm.
Girls is like, but like kind of like a Boys in the Hood, but music. It sounds crazy. I don't have the idea yet, so I can't
I know
really.
what you mean. Like, I guess
Yeah,
like us today, like what we're going through today, but musical. Because that's kind of true. I feel like a lot of our stories that are musical is like stuff from the past, so it makes sense. But
yeah.
Game Banger singing.
Not,
I'm gonna shoot
no,
that
but
nigga.
but they don't even got to be singing. It could actually be
Rap.
like a real song. Like yeah, it could be rap like a real song. So like uh, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of a song that has a crazy
Like
storyline. Like let's
Carmen and Hip Hop Bro, and it be made.
like think of like Nas what's it called What's the Nas song? He's talking about his gun. Talking about a
One
gun.
mic.
Nah, he's talking about a gun, but he's talking from the perspective of a gun the
Oh,
entire time. Yeah, and
I was
it's
thinking about
why.
that verse from One Mic. He's like, all I need is one mic, one clip, one thing, one thing.
But you know something along those lines where I think actually Irv Gotti kind of did it with
Tails.
Tales, like something along those lines
But Tails,
in
they
a
don't
way.
rap in the song. The episode's just based on the
It's just
song.
based on a song, yeah, but it could be something along those lines. It don't have to rap
Yeah.
like just something like that, but like a movie in movie form. You know, I haven't formulated all the way, but something along those lines. I want to creative direct a lot more because I feel like my style is more of that. I could film it, but my ideas are so like I'll have like crazy ideas. You know, obviously I'm filming it, but I feel like I'm like kind of like off of it and just like creating the
Interact.
actual. Yeah, 'cause I just like filming moments. If that makes
Mm.
sense. Like I'm not the director or filmmaker that just films everything. Like, there's people that film everything, or they just like a videographer. They just go around and they press record and film everything. I don't do that. I only post things that like feel epic. I remember Rico Love told me, he's like, yo, like, I don't know what it is, but you make everything look epic.
You do?
Like
No, for
even
real.
even if it's like me filming like it's just like look, it feels like a big moment is happening. So, but I like filming like I like filming moments that are you big moment. So sometimes if there's no moment, I feel like I didn't get anything. But so I try to create the moment, and I could do that. So like if I'm doing a party, I know my style. People always ask me like, "Yo, how do you film recaps at events like that?" Because it don't look like the typical. I try to make it personable. Like most people film recaps that are kind of like the videographer hiding in the corner because they're scared to go up to a girl and film them, whatever. Like, you know, you've seen them
Do
like,
you have an idea of when you walk into a party, you have an idea of what you're looking for? Or
yes,
you're vibing with your camera and then you notice something, it's like, yeah, that's what I want.
that is the second one. The
Okay.
second one. So I'll go in and most, for example, right, like somebody you've been to a bunch of parties, right? So like
Hmm.
you go in, there's somebody typically filming or doing photography. Now either they're not personable at all, and then they'll film you from like a weird creepy angle, like it's like kind of like they're hiding, but it's like, oh, is he filming? Like, all right,
Right.
I'll turn up for
Or
you,
you might see a
but
flash and you like, what the hell?
yeah, it's like, all right, I'll turn up for you, but like, don't be weird. Like, I'm right here, whatever. I go immediately. Like, if you were dancing, I'm like right in your face with it, and like I'm kind of vibing with you.
Hmm.
So now the energy is created, and I'm not really scared of the rejection. Like, if a girl, oh no, all right, I'll film your friend in. Like, and their friend is lit. All right, now you want to get back in. How
No, bitch.
So yeah, but I mean that takes a lot of it takes a lot of confidence because it's like a lot of going to people's faces and with a camera. But like if you don't have the energy to like kind of like vibe with them, that's where the dancing comes in. I know I could kind of dance with them, so they don't feel like I'm filming them in a way. It's like I'm kind of partying with them, and then the camera just happened to be there
Hmm.
instead of they have to really OD perform. Now, if the party is whack, it, I just create it. So I'll go, okay, like you
So
do
that's
this.
no one dancing.
Yeah, like all right, you peace sign up, like yo, do this. You have to just make the moments, and I only put that in the video. Like, I'm not about to put a bunch of other shit. Like it should be, if it's 15 seconds worth of fire, then that that
You
15
gotta slow
seconds
that
is
sucker
going up.
down and just let it play.
Yeah, so like you know what I mean. That's how I treat everything. So like I could film like a bunch of shit. I don't even go around pressing record on everything. I only film if I could visually in my head. I'm like, oh, this is the moment. Yo, say something real quick, and I'll go from there. But I won't just be pressing record and walking around like, hopefully something happens. Because then when you don't have anything, and the client's like, yo, like got the recap and it's trash. It's not. They're not gonna blame it on their party. They're gonna blame you and be like, oh, like you wasn't doing anything. So you know, that's what I learned. You just gotta find whatever moment it is, and people are like, where'd you get that? You know what I mean? Like you are like the perfect person to film at a party because you don't have to say anything. I don't have to say anything. I don't be like, yo, can you like you just start going? Like, oh shit, I got a moment. You know what I mean? But
I don't even remember half the time. I hate waking up the next day after a party, especially with y'all, because y'all gonna remind me some shit. I'm gonna wake up to my lock like, yo, that was crazy. I'm like, what I did?
Yeah,
What I
you
did?
know what I'm saying? Like you have the energy to turn up. Perfect energy to turn up, you know.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Um, that's a good question. I want to leave a legacy of, well, I really just want people to see that I was able to do like anything that I creatively, sought out to do. You know what I'm saying? But they could see it, like for example, like you could see that me dance. You could see through my filming that I wanted to do whatever. Like, oh, he's dancing in this. Like, I don't shock people can't come at me and like, yo, like you're not like weird about dancing and being like, no, I'll just do it because that is my style. Like some people might not want to like. I'm not gonna overdo any one thing. Like I know when to like chill. I'm not gonna be dancing in front of JiJi like just trying to get. You know what I mean? But like it's just my style is to have fun while I'm doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to know that I did everything creatively that I wanted to do. So I think I think everybody should, whatever they see in their head, they should try it at least
But
once because that
also
might be
be
the
you're authentic about it too. Like this is your
yeah
personal thing and you're passionate about it.
right. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. I don't. My Instagram doesn't come off fake like this is like some weird like pretentious page. Like everything I post is exactly. There's a lot of me on my Instagram, but I'm not super braggadocious about me being nice. 'Cause I know it's fire, but what I do is just try to. I know it's fire, but what I'll do is act like it's like, oh yeah, it's easy. If you make it look easy, people are more into it. But if I make it look hard, then people like it's just like, huh? Like, okay, like it's just kind of you almost off putting them. I try to invite people everywhere, like into what I'm doing. So it's like it looks fun. Like everything I do, it looks fun. I'm like, yo, how is this shit this lit? Like you,
It's like you
nobody,
having fun at work.
yeah. Like, are you in Paris randomly? Like, how the fuck you didn't even post? Like, I'm randomly in Paris with Usher. Like, oh shit, it's lit. The video is fire, by the way. So it's like, wait, you did the video too? Like, when you got a lot of add-ons, it people look at it different. Like, yo, you did that, and you had this, and you did it within one day. Like, you're like, oh, how the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So you almost could see the talent. It don't like you're forcing it. Like, I'm not forcing what I'm doing. Like, trying to be something that I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I do it, I actually really studied it hard. Like, it's not like I'm doing something. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should be doing this. Like, I know I could do it without a doubt. Like if you told me to edit this down, I could edit down like 10 seconds. Like, oh yeah, I got you. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I could do it. And it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a
yeah, like I try to do everything I do. I try to make sure it's me in it somewhere. Because other than that, like if you hire Spike Lee, you're hiring Spike Lee to get his look on it. You're not really getting him to just direct it because it's just a regular thing. You're just like, oh, I'm with the Spike Lee, you know, the actor in a moving dolly going like this, like if you want the Spike Lee look, you know what I mean? If you hire Michael Bay, you want the fast action, so it's like I want that,
you have
So I want to be like,
want people to recognize. It's sometimes I can notice when something is yours before you even post it. I've seen stuff and I'm like, that has to be something called it, and then you will
yeah,
post it on your page. I'm like,
like,
oh, see,
like did
I
yeah,
see people skating. I'm like, oh, that's a call thing.
and I try to separate myself from the typical like I don't like getting grouped in with any videographer. No respect to them. I don't like being grouped in with any
I don't think
videographer.
nobody wants to be grouped in with people that I won't say you're competing with, but that's in the same field as you. You want to stand out.
Right. No, right. But what I mean by that is in like I'm not the
You think it too much. I think you're trying to say it the nice way. Just say it.
no, not even. I'm not the like typical uh video guy. Like I'm not walking around with a camera bag, like just like, oh yeah, I'm just here to film. Like It looks like
You're
I
a
probably should be.
creative director. That's the difference in a videographer.
It looks like I should be in the fun too. Like for example, like you would see me like if I went somewhere and I'm filming, you'd be like, yo, I did this ESPN thing one time, and it's like, yo, everybody wear all black. If you working it, all black. I was like, oh, all right. My all black was not the typical all black though. I had like a silk shirt. My shirt was open. They're like, the VP, the VP is like, yo, who's that? He cute. Like, who is that? Like, she's looking at me like, yo, like, what the? But she was cool. She was like, he's cute. Like, yeah. But because you got to stand out. Like, I'm not trying to blend in with everybody because it
You're here to
almost it's like,
work, but you're also here to show who you are.
yeah, like I want people to feel like I'm just a person looking at you and you should do something. I want the moment to be fun while me filming you. So like it's not like super like, okay, film me and I'm looking like this because then it's too much pressure. But if I'm like, oh, dancing with you first and then I just slowly kind of go like this. Now it's not like, oh, he got a big ass camera on my face. I'm just dancing together with, you know what I'm saying? Or like whatever it is, try to make you, feel at ease. You know what I'm saying? So
What's the most money you made on a gig? I don't know if you want to share that. They might try to rob you.
probably like I think it was an editing gig, so I didn't even have to be there, which is the best part, really.
Wow.
It was this Netflix. I had to edit a strong black lead. Spike Lee had a show called She's Gotta Have It,
Mm-hmm.
and I was filming. I
Man,
was filming.
right?
Yeah, it was like he did a show. Yeah, not his original movie, but like
I
he
forget the
did a show.
actress name. I love her, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did like some show based on the show or whatever, and I just edited it, and I was like, I got like 25K for that, and it was only like I did that shit in like 3 days, but they wanted me there for 2 weeks, so those 3 days I had it done. I'm just sitting in the office like just
Chilling. You edited an entire season, or you had episodes you were assigned?
No, it was just it wasn't even a seat. So it was like they did a show based on the show. Like it was like they had a round table thing and they talked about it for like 3 episodes, I think. So I did like 3 episodes, but I did it so fast. They were like, oh, all right. So they didn't even get a chance to like review. They was reviewing it, but like they was like, wow, they were expecting me to be there for 2 weeks, but I just said, let me just come here. Like fuck it, I'm in the Netflix office and
Because, like you said, just
so
sit there. You never know who might need an opportunity for
yeah.
something.
Yeah, so that was a editing gig. Like sometimes it's weird in a way where some people just don't think I could do certain things because the way my Instagram is, like it only looks like fun my stuff. Like I almost look like the person you should give. I almost look like the influencer instead of like the person filming it. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, sometimes people don't know that I could do that type of stuff. So someone's like, "Oh, I didn't know you could edit like a whole like." I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that whole. I can do, I can do everything. I just choose to show people the stuff that like I did stuff for State Farm, Netflix. Um, I ain't gonna lie, I did a bunch of crazy client stuff, but I just don't post it because it's boring and nobody cares.
How
Like,
did you
but you could.
fund yourself when you weren't making money? Like, how did you fund? You have your own equipment, right? So how are you funding to get your own equipment? Everything, does that come out of pocket? Like, what's the business aspect of your brand now?
So okay, so you asked two questions. I'll go over the fun part. I'll actually answer the fun question. So, well, in the beginning, I was working at translation, so I was able to have that like steady income while I was freelancing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was still new to it, and like you kind of wanted the steady job, but like now, I have enough gigs, and you have those gigs that are kind of reoccurring that you're able to like sustain. Obviously, you still get like low months though. Like January, like I don't expect anything to happen in January. It's just like the industry is just like, oh yeah, we're just chilling until February, and then once like the Grammys and Super Bowl kick off, it's back up again. But like, so I just kind of plan for the low months. Like I know by now because I've been doing it for so long that I know like December, like late December, January. Like, like it's just nothing's going on. Like So
Those
I,
ain't.
what, so I try to use that time to like maybe create my own stuff. That's maybe like a bigger thing. Like when we did You from Brooklyn, that was during like January,
Mhm.
and it was just that was going on. We're
So
like,
you
all right,
set money aside to for like those slower months. You just like, okay, I made this month when things are picking up, when things are picked up, and then you're like, I put this much away. Like you're saving it.
yeah, exactly. So because
You don't apply to like grants or nothing. You into a little PPP because you have like your business paperwork, like your articles.
well, well, I never did a grant like a regular film grant. No, I haven't done,
Mm.
but maybe I should though. Like
And
maybe I
that's
should.
like you don't have like an like are you doing everything like based on your regular personal bank account
No,
or you have a business
I
one?
have a I have an LLC as
Okay.
Lunsden Media Lunsden ENT LLC. So I put everything through that.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I definitely have an LLC.
I'll start
But
this.
what I really want to do though, I want to create like a I don't know if it's like a marketing company or something along those lines. But I don't want to say super because marketing is more than just me like come up with like ideas to visually.
Mm-hmm.
So but something along those lines, like maybe a company where like I can creative direct, or we have a bunch of different creative directors,
Creative agency.
agency, yeah, that type
Perfect
of thing, you
example,
know.
6 Degrees. They did House of BT for the BT Awards, and they're
Six
like a
degrees, you know
creative
Troy,
agency and a production company. So yes, in-house production.
yeah,
My
you know
friend,
Troy,
huh?
you know
The
Troy.
guy who's the owner of it,
Well, I don't know his own. His name is Troy
the
Harris, I
CEO.
think.
No,
Oh, he works
the,
for 6 degrees, but I would just
but that's like an
whatever.
example.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
people can hire you to do things, but you can hire me to do production and stuff like that. But then we also have our own thing that we do within our agency. And like
right,
I
right,
sought them out to do like they built the whole thing for House BT. They hired their own people, like something like
right. Yeah, yeah. Nah, that's what I want to do because I think that's how my brain works. Like I don't only work in video terms. Like sometimes I hate getting stuck in like, oh, like you're just gonna do this video. Like it's like yeah, I can create this whole thing. Like I make this like visually. I like things that's visually pleasing. Like if I walk in somewhere, I'm like, yo, why the lights look like this? Like we gotta turn this down, bring this here. Put a stage here, like do this, and that's how my brain usually works. So I try to put that, you
you can
know,
create a package for that. You can hire me to be a videographer, or you could just hire me if you have your own people to come in and creative direct and let you know what you
mhm,
need. But basically, if you have people do consultations with you on what they
right,
want, like what they want their brand to look like or what they're trying to achieve,
right,
then you could come in and put your own style to it, by also blending in with the client wants. And now we have the call effect plus what
right.
say
That's
Nike
true.
hired me to do. And
It's
you didn't have to pick up a camera. You just walked in and said, shut this off. I don't like this. Fix this.
what
And then we went home.
that's true. What I have to do is do one for somebody practically for free because that's how I learned that's usually the best way to introduce people to it. Like for example, I couldn't like if I start charging somebody for it and they never see me do it, it's like it's tough because I'm like I'm basing it off of nothing, even though I know I can do it. So like when we did RBK, the first like 10, we spent so much money. Like oh free, come in, come in, come in. We made open bar, didn't make nothing off of it, but we paid for open bar just so it can grow on its own. Because if you start charging, people are like, I don't know if I'm gonna start investing in this shit off the bat. So yeah, I'm gonna try that with somebody like
I hate
you
that
know.
mindset though.
I,
Like,
I it sucks, but it's our people really. That's all it is. But that's just how it goes. So
you have to prove yourself.
you
We
gotta
got
prove yourself.
we got 1 minute and a half.
I'm in half.
Describe yourself. This is something I've been slacking on. I didn't ask my last two guests this, but to end it off,
Yeah.
describe yourself in 3 words.
Hmm. Um. Passionate. Passionate. Um. Passionate. Uh.
Passionate.
Det- det- determined and I'm trying to think of this last word to bring it all home. Determined and
Unique.
yeah, unique. Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, come
yeah.
on. I was gonna say
Unique.
authentic, but I think unique, passionate, determined, unique.
Yeah, unique. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I wanted to get the "You from Brooklyn" one off, but I know you didn't get the accent.
I
How
know.
we
Okay,
started that.
throw it
Oh,
in there.
we could. All right. So you from
I'm just scared because
Brooklyn?
Instagram be cutting lives. I just hope they don't cut it. If they cut it, we'll just have to make this a 2-part.
Okay.